What's up, what's up, what's up? Just the VJP in the house. So I'm just driving around. I went to work yesterday and I was a little, well, I thought I was going to be late. And I went down this wrong road. I call it a shortcut. And what happened was there was this old man on a bike. And the road itself is very narrow. And most of the time when people drive down the street, and a car comes, they move. But you do have some older people who, they just won't move. I guess stuck in their days, I guess. And so I beeped a little bit, he didn't move or anything, and I'm almost sure he heard me unless he was deaf. And I was like, forget it. I'll just wait till I have space to go by. And so I did waited. And then I went by him. Then I got to my job in time, like with 2 minutes to spare. And then as soon as I start opening up the shutter, the old man rides by on his bike. So I would have made it anyway. And that's like the epitome, huh? I don't know what the word is, but the highlight of my life. Every time I want to do something, it's like I have to wait or take my time doing it or something like that. I have no idea. It's like when I rush to do something, it doesn't come out right. And it's just weird how that works. It's my whole life, and I was thinking about my life and stuff too. Because like when I was in, I don't know if I made a video about this, but when I was in college, I was, I think this would have had, I was dating my first wife. We were only just dating. Actually, we were dating, but we were boyfriend and girlfriends, but it wasn't like all that serious because I knew she had a lot of male friends. And I'm sure she knew I had a lot of female friends. And what we did was, we really didn't say anything until one time I actually did catch her riding her moped with some other dude I knew. And so I rolled up on him and I was like, yo, what's up? And then I was like, this is my girlfriend or something like that. And he was like, oh, they just friends and they've been friends for a long time and this and that. And I just looked and then I remembered this confrontation I had with another friend of mine. It wasn't a confrontation, but it was a kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but so anyway, I met this girl from Fresno. I don't know where. I think I met her in Los Angeles, maybe at a dance at UCLA. And so we traded numbers, we kept in touch. And I think I hooked them two up with the numbers or something like that. I don't know how I did that. But me and her was friends. But I didn't know he was calling her. So he was actively calling her and was liking her and stuff. So then one day, I think I had went to her house. But the whole thing is, I don't think he knew that she was pregnant by some other dude up in Fresno who was kind of dogging her out. So I don't know if he knew that she was pregnant. I don't think she told him because I think that would have broke off everything. But, so I went to see her and stuff. We hung out for the day over at her cousin's house out in Linwood or somewhere else. And I'm from Venice, right? So it was a long bus ride out there, and had to go through like Southgate or something, and I heard it's kind of bad over there at that time, but I was on a bus, so nothing really didn't happen. And actually Southgate at that time was a really beautiful city from the part I went through anyway. And so I was over there, we were talking and stuff, and hugging a little bit, kiss a little bit, and I think it wasn't necessarily me trying to kiss her, because I really didn't care. But I think it was just I think maybe she just kissed me because how long we kept in touch as good friends, even before I introduced her and stuff. And I didn't know anything about it. And then what was funny was because sometimes we'll all talk, and that was from like when Three-Way came out. So I would put them on the Three-Way, we would just talk all night, or I get off the phone and to talk and stuff like that. So I didn't really think of anything about it. And plus, at that time, I was still a virgin. I wasn't dating anyone. Or if I did date anyone, which I don't think I did. I did date one girl, and but we nothing ever happened. So But yeah, because I was, like I said, my other videos, I was virgin until I was like right before I turned 21. And so it was nothing, you know, just friends and stuff. You know, she was real cool, you know, really nice. Over the phone we met, she was real cool. I mean, second time we met, she was real cool. You know, I just had a little bump when the baby was coming out. I mean, when the baby was being developed and stuff. And so anyway, I think she must have told him I went over there or something. So the next time I went to his house, we almost got into this big fight and stuff. And then we did get into an argument. I think one time we did box one time and they hit me. Well, he was kind of thin, but I don't know why, but it just hurted. I couldn't believe it. So after that, I was like, okay, well, you know, let's see. So after that, I was like, oh man, if I get into a fight with this dude, you know what I'm saying? So it was funny. But after that, you know, I called him and said, hey, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I don't want us to break up our friendship over a girl. You know, and he was like, okay, because me and him hung out. We hung out a lot, you know, like best friends and stuff. And he was taking me all up to, not Pomona, Pasadena and stuff. You know, it was weird because later on I ended up meeting a girl from out there. And that's how I knew how to get up there from, you know, when he told me how to go up there. But we used to catch these buses up there. It was crazy. And I don't know how he must have had some money. I was always broke, you know, and but managed to get bus fare to get up there. And yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff we was doing. Some lady's house we went to, he said was like his grandmother aunt. It was real big, like a haunted house, you know. And we slept there and stuff, or we just eating and stuff. I don't know if he was, I don't think he was robbing it. No, I don't think that was the case because we went there a few times and stuff. But it was, I mean, you know, because some people can, you know, I was like one of those people, you told me something, I just believed it, you know. But I mean, I didn't care because I just take most people's stories, I mean, conversations as stories anyway, so it didn't matter. But what happened? So we became friends and stuff after that, and it was just really interesting. I just told him, you know, that'll never happen and stuff, you know. And then we just continued being friends and stuff. It was real cool. It was real cool. But yeah, what I used to do when I was younger though, I used to set up guys with girls. I used to be good. I don't know why I was so good at doing it. And I mean, like I set up this one dude to the point where all he had to do was just ask the girl for her number, you know. And actually it did happen because I think I told you in one of my videos a long time ago. But I said that I had met this girl at a dance at UCLA, and she was fine. Oh my God, she was fine. She lived out in I think Compton, and it was like right across from Linwood and stuff. And I used to catch a bus out there. So we was at the club, you know. I talked to her, said let's dance. She was like, no, and I'm like, why? You know, these guys always trying to dance with me and stuff. And I was like, whatever, you know. And then my other friend, he was a cool brother, like skinny brother and stuff, and something really bad happened to him. It was really messed up, but he survived, so that was good. But I think me and him hung out at the beach, but anyway, me and him was there, and he tried to talk to her friend. I think them two danced, but she didn't want to dance with me, so I just sat next to her. We just started talking. Then I got up and went and started dancing by myself, you know. The next thing you know, she come over and, you know, we started dancing. Well, she said, come dance with you. I'm like, why? You want to dance with me now, you know? Because I was like really conceited like that. Because actually I was very conceited, but I was nice, you know, but I was very conceited. But if somebody came and talked to me, I did speak to them. But as soon as the conversation was over, I was like gone, you know. And I, you know, so we ended up talking and stuff. And she told me, wait, I think she came down to visit me. Wait, did she have a car? I'm trying to think, did she drive? No, that wasn't her. I don't think she drove. No, she didn't. So I used to always go up to Compton to meet her. And she lived in the house, and I walked in. Her mom was real cool. Me and her got it off. I mean, you know, we clicked real quick, you know, and she was real cool. You know, but that, oh man, she was so fun. Couldn't believe it. And, but, you know, she's his regular sister and stuff, you know. And one day I was over her house, and I was sitting on the couch. Her brother was there, and I don't know if he was what he was into or not, but you know, I was way out of my territory. You know what I'm saying? And it was like so much red over there. I didn't know what was going on, but I didn't really care because I wasn't banging or anything like that. And what I mean by not banging was I wasn't like carrying a gun and actually going after any enemies and stuff like that. But I did hang out with them, but I didn't know there was gangsters, or I didn't know the depths of it because nobody actually came and told me anything about it. I didn't ask, they didn't tell me. I heard little things here and there, but it just went one ear and out the other. I wasn't trying to, you know, remember people's by their first name. I knew a lot of people if I heard their name, or if I saw them, basically if I saw them, but I didn't know who was who. So people like, you know such and I'm like, no. Why you don't know him? You just met him last week, or y'all was hanging on. I'm like, I don't be trying to remember these people's names. And they were like, why? I said, because every time I go somewhere, these cops are always stopping me and bothering me, and people are always meeting me and where you from and do this and this, and I'm just making sure I don't know who is who. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. You know, it's not my business. You know, if they don't tell me, I don't ask. And so we were sitting in her house. Sitting in her house on the couch one day, and she was sitting on me, like straddling me and stuff. And she started slapping me, and I said, stop. And at that time, I was kind of yoked too, so maybe that's why I didn't really get into too many problems and stuff. But and then I did have a jerry curl. My jerry curl was fly. It wasn't stringy, it was curly, you know. And I was tall, very black, you know. And the way I look, you know, I dress like a banger, I guess, you know, khakis sometimes, or the jeans or whatever I wore. My, you know, the way my clothes were ironed and pressed to the T. Like now I'm like totally bumming and stuff. All the lines were to put the shirts in and stuff. I knew all of that stuff, you know. So I was always dressed, you know, the role, but not knowing how serious the role was. But, you know, coming from Detroit, you know, I was like 11, but I've seen a lot of negative stuff there. Some serious negative stuff there. So I guess that was enough. And then I went back when I was 15, and I was like, oh my God, you know, this is a war zone out here. You know, a guy suck his dogs, or my little dog. We had a white Labrador Retriever, and he had these full-grown Doberman pictures, and they came and jumping up, you know, and I'm holding the dog up, so evidently I must have been tall, you know, because they didn't jump up too high. But I thought one was gonna bite me, so you know, I can drop the dog, and they would, you know, play with my dog like a little rag dog or something, you know. And I was just standing there looking at them guys, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, why are these guys doing this, you know? And then finally they called the dogs, and they laughed at these grown-ass black men, you know, and I'm only like 15 at the time or something like that, and I'm like, oh boy, you know, I'm like, okay, here we go again, you know. So anyway, getting back to the story, she started slapping me. I said, stop, and she slapped me. I said, stop, and she slapped me harder and harder and harder. And I just took my hand and slapped right on the side of her cheek. But not where it would make her head slap, but it did make a lot of noise, you know, because it depends on, you know, the, how can you say that? How do you measure pounds per square inch of I guess it's the degree, not the degree, but the amount of the shape where you hit somebody, because, you know, like beatboxing and stuff, you know, how, you know, different ways you can hold your hand and it makes different noise. And so when I slapped, it was smack. It was funny. And she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you hit me. And then she turned to her brother and said, did you see him hit me? You want to let him do that? And the first thing that came out, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting shot. You know, I'm like, what am I thinking? I'm way over here, not even paying attention. Dude had a gun, I've been gone. And dude was like, I must have been hecka cool, because, I mean, they knew I was from Venice. I still dress, you know, like everyone else in the hood dress. But I think the only thing that really differentiated me with everyone's telling me now was my vocabulary. You know, so I always spoke proper. And even though I did hang out with them, they said I was not a gangster. I wasn't into that stuff, you know. And it wasn't really because I wasn't into it. I didn't want to be into it. But I think I told the story before. When I first went there, to Venice, I went to, they had a meeting, and so I went over and I said, what's going on? And so we having a game meeting or whatever. And I said, ooh, I want to join. They said, and I get out of here. And I'm like, why can't I join? They chased me away. I was like, wow, that is so sad. I mean, I'm so pathetic. I can't even join it. I get chased away from being in the game. But even before that, they were talking about some stuff, you know. And I'm like, well, if y'all know we ain't enemies, y'all need to go get them, you know. And I'm like, you know, just coming back from Detroit, you know, thinking I'm all peaceful and stuff. And they're like, well, you know, I like in Detroit, we don't do that. We go get them. And I'm saying we, but I never actually engaged in anything. Not saying I didn't have fights, because in Detroit we were fighting all the time. But pretty much I was like talking my way out of it. But sometimes I did have to put some hands on people or something. Just a couple, you know, you just have to hit them once and that'll be it. You know, one dude and his brother, John, James and John, big old dudes too. And I had the younger brother and the old brother was always bothering me, and they were big too. And one day they came outside telling me they're gonna jump me or something, because I don't know why. You know, I'm a fool because I hang out with a lot of people who really probably disrespect me or don't really you know, I'm just like nothing, you know, because I had some friends I used to always call and want to hang out with them, and they hung out with me, but it wasn't like they really shared a lot of information that they would share with other people and stuff, you know. That's not in Venice. Venice, everything was cool. But it was like after I turned 18 and stuff, you know, and I was like, wow. And I mean, even now it's really hard for me to make friends and stuff. So I'm starting to realize that maybe it's just I'm just at a different level, you know, because actually I should be rich right now, and I'll tell that story later. But I should have been rich a whole bunch of times, and I messed up. And I shouldn't have even came to Japan. My first wife should have been from Tibet. You know, I think I told that story, but I'll tell later. But anyway, yeah, they chased me away and stuff. So, and then when I was always going over there to her area, it was like the residential area and stuff. And nobody bothered me. Nobody ever came up and said, "What set you from?" Nobody, even in Venice, nobody bothered me and everything. I think that was because I stayed in one of the person's house I stayed in. He was connected to some respectable people in Venice, but still nobody ever messed with, never questioned me or anything, you know. And they treated me and my brothers different. Well, that's because they went to Venice High, I guess. I didn't go. I was like, hey, I'm not going to Venice High, not because I didn't want to go to it, but that would have been my 13th school, you know. Like, no. So I got lucky and was able to stay at uni and stuff. But yeah, I was thinking to myself, wow, I'm about to get shot. Dude was like, hey, the man told you to stop hitting him. You know, I'm not going to hit him, get on him because you slapping him. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying that, you know. And then she was like, oh, you ain't no good, blah, blah, blah. She said, well, he a cool guy. You know, I'm not going to, he ain't doing that. It's your fault. You know, you can't just be hitting on people and stuff, right? So she went to the room, mommy, blah, 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 and stuff. And her mom got mad at her because I was real cool. Because actually what she told me was, she would say, Ralph, listen, even if you and my daughter break up, you're welcome to this house. You're the, like, she said, like, you're the coolest guy she's ever dated, and I really like you and stuff. You know, you're part of our family, you know, so please come back and stuff. So we hung out. Where did we go? I went to her house a whole bunch of times. I think I went there once for my mom, and my mom, I don't know, she was kind of tripping and stuff, but her and my mom didn't click. But she was fine though. But her and my mom didn't really click. So my mom was like, come on, let's go. I'm like, okay. You know, I was only there for like 10 minutes. You know, we drove from Venice way over there, you know. I think my younger brother was with me too, and he was tripping too. And I was like, okay, whatever, you know. And I said, let's go. And so she grabbed me and said, come here. And I'm like, what? She said, just give me a hug. So she gave me a hug, took off her clothes. We did it like right there up against her fridge and stuff. I'm like, well, my mom was like, come on, what y'all doing in there? I hear the noise. What are y'all doing in there? I'm like, we're not doing nothing. Just wait, Mom. So luckily she was patient enough to wait. Then we left. But then I went back over there one day and she was hugging up on some dude. So I jumped out my car like a fool, thinking I'm all, you know, cool and stuff, and running over like, yo, what's up, man? What you doing with my girl? You know, dude could have had a gun and blah. You know what I'm saying? You know, and easily. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going over there, you know, I mean, I guess he wasn't paying attention, or maybe it was my size or something. He just kind of froze or something, you know, because neither one of them, when I said something, they both looked, but they didn't let go of each other. Then she was talking about, oh, you know, this is my friend and stuff and that and this. And I was like, wow. I was like really sad, because I was actually thinking about marrying him. I think she did have a daughter too, but she was cool though. I mean, you do have women out there that just do what they're gonna do and stuff, you know. But she was cool and stuff. And I wonder if I had a job. Yeah, I had definitely had a job. You know, I wasn't getting paid a lot, but it's in this engineering company, and called Pioneer Magnetics, and it was fun place to work. Oh my God, it was real fun. And I was supposed to, you know, go into school and get a degree. I think a AA, become a technician and stuff, get a raise and stuff. I used to talk to the owner a lot. Jewish guy, was real cool. And I was like really upset and stuff, so I said forget it. And so I just left and I didn't go back. But we talked, and she was like, yeah, she wanted to get back with him. I think she was saying something like it was her ex-boyfriend and he begged her back and stuff. And then she was getting these jobs and stuff, was too busy. And plus I was coming so far away. So me, I'm the type of dude, I was like, okay, you know, whatever. You know, and then she was like, well, we got these jobs. You should come out here and get this job working at this warehouse, you know, making all this money. I'm like, nah, I want to become an engineer. You know, I was happy working where I was at. It was closer. Plus, I was going to school too in college. You know, paying my own way through and stuff. Because back then it was real cheap, like $5 a credit and stuff. And so I was like, cool, it's okay. So we ended up breaking up and stuff. But yeah, it was really interesting, though. But anyway, that's not the story I wanted to tell you about. The story I wanted to tell you about was how I was setting up guys really easily. And so I met this other girl in Westwood, and I think I told this story before, but I just love repeating myself. And I was hanging out. This was like when Prince was in. So we go to Venice Beach. If y'all were there, I think it was like in 83, 84 and stuff. Maybe 82, 83, 84. And 85 and stuff. And that was when this one skater, they called him, what was his name? I want to say Big or Mac. I can't think of his name, but he was a brother. All he did was wore black. You know, he brought this homemade speaker radio thing. You know, we all just went there, skated and danced and stuff. Oh, I didn't skate, but a lot of people went to skate and stuff. I was a dancer in my neighborhood. I was like the #1 dancer. And the reason I became the #1 dancer is because I had a contest with the #1 dancer in the hood, and I beat him doing one move. At the beach, I was just tearing people up, you know. In the contests I hear, when I go to clubs in Hollywood, UCLA, wherever, you know, and they had contests. I mean, I had lots and lots of dance competitions there. Venice Beach in Westwood, and I didn't lose any. I did have to go up against like 6 guys once doing the prep, and I would be dancing. I'd dance by myself, then they'd come like in like 2 or 3, and we you know, do our little session, and I did mine, and I would just beat them all, and they leave, and don't come back, and then somebody else would come back and stuff. And it was real cool. I can't think of where it was. I'm thinking it was in Hollywood, at the Palladium. It wasn't the that one famous one that starts with a P, but it was another one. I can't think of it. But yeah, that was real cool. Or it could have been out in West Hollywood. I don't know, West Hollywood, the Valley area, or something like that. I think when they had not World of West, but there was this other skating rink that was out in West Hollywood, but in the Valley Park. And I think I went out there once. Oh my God, I went out there once and met this one girl from there. Oh my God, she was so fine, and we just danced all night. You know, just, you know, especially when they played that slow song, just grinding and stuff. She was so fine, but she lived way out in the valley, and I was like, because I was totally a square. Really, I looked cool. You know, my speech was good and everything, but really I was a total square. And I guess I knew everything, but it was just the way I act. I don't know, maybe it's just living, you know, in Westwood, hanging out with the white guys and stuff, you know, but I was really a square and stuff. And anyway, let me get back to the story. So the guys, it was these 2 twins. They're real tall. They used to always dress like Prince. There was this these other guys, it was like 8 of us, so we were walking down the street and stuff, and then 2 dudes did something that was so disrespectful, I couldn't believe it, but I'm not going to put that in here. Okay, I'll say it. No, I'm not going to say it. And so, anyway, they were like 6'4", 6'6", maybe, or 6'8", I don't know, but their dudes were tall, though. And, you know, just dressing up like Prince and everything, you know. So we walking down the street, and they just talking crap to everybody, you know, because no one's going to bother them those days over in that area where we were at. No one was, like, carrying guns and stuff, so it was pretty much safe. So if you did get into any problems, it would be just fist fights and stuff, you know. Because back then, people threw the fist, they didn't pick up guns and stuff. But, well, I mean, like I said, in that area we were at. But, they walked by this one girl, and her nickname is Mercedes, and she was with 2 guys, 2 of her friends, or 3 of them, or whatever, I forget. And they were just started talking crap to the friends, to her and her friends. Of course, they didn't say anything, you know, because it's only them. Plus, they had that girl with them. And so I'm like 3 or 4 feet behind them, and I walk by. Of course, I was close enough, you know. And then when I walked by, she just said, "Oh, you ain't got nothing smart to say?" I'm like, wait a minute. All these cool guys walk by. I'm like the shortest one, like at 6'1", almost 6'2". All these tall guys went by. You know, all of them look better than me, you know, from what I was thinking. Because actually, when I looked at my younger picture, actually I was handsome. I didn't know it, but yeah, I was handsome. And I can understand why I got a lot of attention from the girls I had. But and I was like, want to ignore her, and some said, no, stop, go back and talk to her. So I stopped, and I walked backwards, didn't even look behind, didn't bump anybody, because it was like on a Friday or a Saturday night, and at that time in Westwood it was always crowded, you know, during the weekends. And I backed up to her. I didn't turn my body towards her, I just turned to the left, and I said, excuse me, what did you say? She said, well, your friend's walking by talking shit, and you walked by and you didn't say anything. So I'm just asking why you ain't gonna talk shit. And I said, wow, you know, that's good. So I'm thinking, of course I answered real quick, but you know, when you're thinking, you can think of so many, I mean, you know, you probably think of a paragraph in 0.333, I mean 0.0000001, whatever billions or quadrillions of a second, you know. And I was like, okay, fine, you know. And I said, well, come on, let's go talk about it. So she's like, all right. So she grabs my arm, I think, and her friends started walking with us. And then of course, my friends were way ahead, and they come running back, you know, like, hey, where'd you go? Because actually, I was really popular when I was young. At Venice Beach, not in Santa Monica. They had a crew out there. I wasn't popular. I knew them, but I wasn't popular. And at Santa Monica, I wasn't popular, but I did know a lot of people, and we all respected each other. But at Venice Beach, I was really popular. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of the dancing and stuff like that. Maybe my attitude, I have no idea. But I was really popular at the beach. And especially when I came back from Cleveland and started dancing. And, you know, I made some band moves, you know, teaching friends and stuff. So when I come up there, you know, it's like 15, 20 people, like, hey, Ralph, you know. But then my name wasn't Ralph. It was Fresh. Hey, Fresh, you know, and blah, 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 you know. And it was really cool and stuff. And I was like, oh, well, you know, me and her, she started talking crap, so I had to, you know, step back and talk to her. You know, they all laughing, and, you know, she kind of like shoved me a little bit, you know, when she was holding me. And then her and her friends, her 2 or 3 friends, and my other friends, they all of them got together in a group, and they all laughing and stuff and talking crap about people. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, you guys, be nice, you know. You don't even have to do that, you know. They're like, oh, shut up, be with the girl, mind your own business. You know, I'm like, all right. So me and her was talking. She was so fine. And we ended up dating a lot. She would come down to Venice, pick me up. She was thin and stuff, like a 1.5 years older than me. Very beautiful, a choreographer and stuff like that. Her mom was real cool. Her brothers were cool. I think the youngest was seemed like he was a little on the wild side, so I don't know what he was doing. I think she may have had an older brother or something. He was cool. But it was weird, you know, because it was like the house. It was just really interesting, you know. It was like almost being back in the kind of atmosphere. It was almost like being back in Detroit, because I guess in that area it was all blacks and stuff. In Venice, there are blacks, but on the same street you do have, at that time we said Mexicans, and and you did have whites here and there. Well, actually, whites were on the canal side, but you know, it was like we had our little spot, but we weren't the only ones. It wasn't just all blacks, you know, and it was just mixed and stuff with, you know, South American people or Latinos. Now they call it right Latinos and stuff. But it was just really interesting and stuff. So we dated and stuff. I heard mom said the same thing, you know, sex in the house and blah blah blah. And one day we were doing it, and the little brother came in. I'm telling Mama, I have sex. She said, get out of here. I'm like, oh, why didn't you tell me that? You know, she said, oh, well, you know. Well, actually, she didn't tell me that, but that was her rule. Later, you know, she said that, you know, no sex in the house after we got a call, because she was bad and stuff. But she said, Ralph, you know, I know you're a good guy, and I didn't tell you. I told my daughter no sex in the house. So please just don't do it in the house anymore. You can still come over and stuff. And I'm like, okay, and I respect her. But I really didn't care about sex so much. But the girls I dated, they wanted it, but they were so fine. God, man, oh my God. I'm gonna tell you, I've been fortunate. I've been with some beautiful black women, and I'm not saying like a sexual object or anything, but just beautiful, you know. Because actually, I think the one. Which one was that? Must have been, I'm thinking, the one from Compton. We were at my house one day, and I think she was going to stay over, or I was going to use the next door neighbor's car to take her home. I'm not sure which one, who it was. But the one from Compton was a little stronger, beefier, not fat or anything, but muscular. She had more muscles on her than the other one, because the other one, because she was a dancer, so she was thin. But and of course, after we dated, you know, a few years went by, and the guy who he was really famous in Venice. Everybody knew him and his wife, you know. And he told me one day, he said, oh, you know, I would happen to talk about this story. He said, yeah, you know, I told her about her. He said, yeah, everybody used to always talk about why you always hang out with that 12-year-old girl. I'm like, huh? Yeah, the girl you're talking about. She's 12, right? I'm like, no, because she like had a real small chest and everything, but she was, you know, thin. But she just looked, I won't say she had a small chest. She just looked young. She looked like, to them, I guess, she looked like she was 12. To me, she was 21, you know, or 22, or however year, or she was a year older. And I was like, no. I said, she used to come down here in her car and pick me up. How could she be 12 years old and driving a car? And he was like, oh, you know, I never thought about that. We said, but everybody thought you were a child molester, and that you were dating this girl that was 12 years old. And I'm like, why didn't anybody even approach me? I'm like, all that time, everybody thinking that. And she was like, yeah, you know, we talk about it all the time. And I'm like, oh, that is so cold. You know, I said, no, she was 21. She got a car. You know, she just looked young, and she even had a kid. You know, and he was like shocked. Oh my God, really? I said, yeah. He said, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I thought about that for so long. I'm like, if you thought I was a bad guy, why would you just let me? You just didn't kick me out your house or something. He said, no, because I was a good person. And I was like, oh my God, I was so just like stunned, you know, horrified, you know. I'm like, oh my God, why? I'm like, I'm not even that type of person. You know what I'm saying? I've been living in your apartments forever. You ought to know what type of person, you know, at least you should know that I'm a good person. I don't do that, you know. And he was like, yeah. And then I think some other people, we were talking about that, and they said, yeah, she was really young. We were always worried about it. I like, the girl drove all the way down from Pasadena in her car. There's no way her parents are going to let her, a 12-year-old little girl, drive her car. And how would you tell that she's 12 years old? 12-year-old girls don't act like her, don't talk like her, you know, because a couple of guys did meet her, you know. But I guess, but I can understand it, because it was a friend in the military base. What is it? Edwards Air Force Base, and his wife. We were like in our 30s, or no, we were like 20. No, at that time probably was like 28 or 27 or 26, and he was like 24. His wife was maybe 22, but she looked like she was 14 years old. And so every time they went out, you know, I would see him like, wow, your wife looks like a little kid. He said, yeah. I mean, she was built like a woman, but she was just like, she just looked like one of those little 14-year-olds that's built, you know, mature really fast physically. He said, yeah, every time we go out, the police stop us a lot, and I have to show my ID, and when they look at her ID, they're like really shocked and stuff, you know, because she pulled out a military ID, you know, and of course, you know, it got her rank on it, sergeant, whatever, you know, and you ain't gonna have no 14-year-old sergeants in the U.S., you know, in the U.S. Air Force, you know, so it was really, she said, yeah, it was really hectic for him and stuff, but it was interesting. But anyway, what happened, we were just hanging out, and I went to Mrs. Fields Cookies. That's when they first came out in Westwood, and it was like 25 cents each, really big. I would always buy 6 and pass them out to women and stuff on the street, and we just hung out, and so I didn't think anything of it. So she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to my car. I think it was her, so I ended up walking her up to the car where her I think it was her, would have had to be her, yeah, to where her car was, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. She said, no, let's talk a little bit. I'm like, no, I gotta go. So we went to the, she's like, come on, let's go on the stair, we want to talk. And her friends, or it could have been her brother, like, ooh, you gonna do something, you know, so we went there, we used to talk, and she just grabbed me, just started kissing on me and stuff, and I was like, whoa, wait, this is the first night, you know, and, after that, you know, we just started hanging out. We ended up breaking up because one day she taught me how to drive a stick. She was the one who taught me how to drive a stick. And every time I backed out of her driveway, I always do this U-turn, and it was perfect. So I said, okay, well, let me just do the U-turn without looking. I did it, did the U-turn, bam, hit a tree. Oh my God. Well, wait, I was driving to Venice. These guys were racing, so I was racing in second gear, burnt her gear out, and she was not happy, but she had friends that told her how to drive home, you know, because you don't really need a stick, you know. Once it revs up, you can, to a certain thing, you can like shift it up and stuff, or shift down, whatever. Because one of my friends, he had one of those Volkswagen ones like that, and it was a 3-gear, but he didn't have a what is that thing called? Manual has a, I forgot what it was. I want to say stick shift, but that pedal, I forgot what it's called. But anyway, he didn't have one of those, so he would drive, and once it rev up, get up to a certain thing, he could switch it over. The dude was good, you know, and so once I crashed her car, she was like really sad because we were all going to Magic Mountain that day, and so we ended up not going. And I think after that, you know, her attitude towards me kind of changed because I couldn't afford to fix her car. Well, she didn't even ask for the money, but I should have given it to her. But and then I went up there one day, and of course, I called her with some dude, and turned out it was the her husband's, her baby's father. And I guess he must have heard about us being together, so he wanted to get back together with us. But he was cool. Dude was big. He was taller than me. He was bigger than me. He was real cool when I walked up. He didn't, you know, come after me, you know, trying to hurt me or anything like that, trying to fight me or anything like that. He was real cool. And I said, what's going on? She was like, oh, you know, this is my it was like, this is my oh, wait a minute.